Alright guys, today I'm going to be doing a video on my opinionated top ranked TV couples. And this is just my opinion. So let's get started. I'll rank Sonny and Chad a 7 out of 10. Yeah, they're a 7 out of 10. I mean guys, I never really was into Sonny with the Chance like some kids. But at the same time, I do believe they were cute when I did see them. I just think that it was... I mean, they were enemies for so long. I mean, I couldn't really get into them as a couple, but I do think they were cute. All right, next. All right, next is Miley, Stuart, and Jake from Hannah Montana. And guys, with them, I gave them a 2 out of 10. Because, guys, I was never crazy about Jake. I mean, he was like the player type, and he did eventually cheat on Miley. But I think they should have done a different direction with the couple. I don't know. I just didn't like them. I don't know. I know some people do, some people don't. I'm one of them that don't. Alright, next. This is Cody and Bailey. I gave them a 7 out of 10. And the reason I gave them a 7 out of 10 is because they were cute together. And they did have problems. I'm not saying they were perfect. But I think they were cute together because they were both into being smart. And they just have the cutest little relationship to be a couple of nerdy people. I mean, actually, they're all cute. And Allie from the show Austin and Allie. I gave them a 8 out of 10 because ultimately I shipped them from the get-go of seeing the show. And I think it was cute how he asked her out. I mean, she got feelings for him, and then he played Think About You, which is a song she wrote about him, but he sung it to her, which was cute. So overall, they are an 8 out of 10. Next. Alright, next is Troy and Gabriella from High School Musical 2, 3, and so on. And guys, I give them a 9 out of 10 because, I mean, they would be a 10 to me, but they broke up about every movie. They're always breaking up. So, I mean, ultimately they were cute together. I mean, if you watch the movies, I mean, you can see that they weren't the best couple. And I think they had potential of being a great couple, but ultimately I gave them a 9 out of 10 because they kept breaking up. And it just seems like it was all toxic a little bit. So. Miley and Jesse from Hannah Montana. Alright, y'all. I decided to do Miley and Jesse and put Miley with her last boo versus the one she did have. And Jesse, the reason I ranked him so high up is not because I think anything. Like, I don't think that he was... I don't know. I'm not going to sit there and say he was the best boyfriend she had. I mean, ultimately, he had problems. Like, he couldn't accept her at first. But ultimately, guys, he didn't cheat on her. He ultimately did decide, I don't care what anyone has to say about me. I love her and I'm going to be with her. So, ultimately, that's why they are at a 10 out of 10 versus Miley and Jake, who is a 2 or 3 out of 10. So, same TV show of Hannah Montana, but Lily and Oliver. Guys, ultimately, I do like Lily and Oliver. I knew they were going to get together from when I first seen Hannah Montana. I knew they were going to get together. But, I mean, they ultimately had their problems as well. But ultimately, they were cute. I'll give you that. And I rank them as a 10 out of 10 because I do believe they're cute. I mean, they could have left room for them to grow and do stuff to make them stronger, but they're cute overall. Hey guys, this one, it honestly killed me to rank them the way I did, but ultimately I had to rule in what they went through and all that. Alright, next is Alex and Mason from Wizards of Waverly Place. And I rank them 8 out of 5 out of 10. And guys, yeah, they're still good and up there, but ultimately they had problems. Yes, they were jealous of each other and they were a toxic relationship. Like, I didn't used to think that as a kid when I watched it, but now that I'm an adult and I think about and I watched how they were not the best couple on Wizards. Yeah, ultimately they were together, they were in game and all that, but I mean, he was jealous, he was controlling. When she wanted space, he wouldn't give it to her, but yet if he was upset, he wanted her to leave him alone and all that. Like, I don't know. Ultimately, I do think Greg and Selena both done good for the couple. They did play the characters amazingly. But ultimately, I think that they are not a 10 out of 10 like I would have ranked them when I was younger. But they were cute. And they had their moments where they were good together. So next. As Teddy and Spencer from Good Luck Charlie. Alright, with these two guys, I personally didn't really like them. I gave them a 0 out of 10. Which I know a lot of people may like Teddy and Spencer, but I didn't personally. Ultimately, he did cheat on her. And I do know some people do forgive the cheating thing, but I don't. Cheating will be a deal breaker for me. Like, he also, like, guys, I mean, he wasn't the best boyfriend on Disney Channel. You could tell that. He had several qualities that made him But ultimately, I think they weren't a good match. I think they should have just left them after he cheated on her in season 1, left it like that, and gave her somebody else to end up with. Alright, next. Alright, Diggy and Maddie from Liv and Maddie. This is another couple I gave a 0 out of 10 to, guys. And when I first watched Liv and Maddie, I thought they were cute, and I thought, oh yeah, they're like a 10 out of 10. I really thought that way. But ultimately, guys, Diggy also, just like Spencer, wasn't the best boyfriend. I mean, he left her in Stevens Point while he went to Tundramania, or wherever it was. And then, when he got back home to see her, he wanted to go back out to somewhere else. It's like he did not see where she was coming from, and he just wanted her to be supportive of what he wanted to do. Alright, next. And next is Lucas and Riley. In which, guys, I mean, this one I just never could get into. They're a 0 out of 10 to me. I mean, they were kids. I mean, they shouldn't even focus on relationships on it. Like, I mean, but ultimately, it is what it is. By the way, that was Lucas and Riley from Girl Meets World. So, alright, Nickelodeon time. Alright, first one is Josh and Mindy from Drake and Josh. I gave them a 9 out of 10. I mean, yeah, guys, she's a little bit too preppy for my liking. But ultimately, I think they did have cute moments together. I mean, he was sweet and everything to her, and she was okay with him. But ultimately, I didn't really like her as a character. But ultimately, they did have a cute relationship. So, 9 out of 10 for Josh and Mindy from Drake and Josh. Beck and Jade from Victorious. I gave Beck and Jade a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10. And guys, it's not because of anything against anything. It's, well, it is against them as a couple, but ultimately, they were very toxic throughout their relationship. Like, I didn't see no moments where they weren't toxic for each other. Like, for example, when Jade didn't like something he did, it's like she was trying to threaten at whoever either who he's talking to or him. And then if they were broken up, he could not move on with somebody else without her getting upset. I mean, I'm not saying he was perfect either. I mean, he fought back at her and argued and done a lot of stuff wrong too. But ultimately, guys, they weren't my favorite couple. So 4 out of 10. Danny and Sam from Danny Phantom. Guys, with these two, when I watched them as a little kid, I always wanted them together because they were cute to me. And guys, I do still think that. I gave them a 10 out of 10 because ultimately, guys, they had like the cute little storybook, friends turn lover thing. And I do think they're cute. So, 10 out of 10. And sorry, guys, my shoulder was just itching. Zoe and Chase from Zoe 101. Now, guys, I gave them an 8 out of 10. And, guys, I'm looking at paper because I would not remember any of this off the top of my head. But anyway, Zoe and Chase, I did an 8 out of 10 because I never really watched Zoe 101, but I did see some moments where Zoe and Chase were. I mean, I didn't like the way they drug it out. I wish they would have brought them together before the show ended. But they waited till right at the show nearly ended before they brought them two together. So, I mean, yeah. Zoe and Chase, 8 out of 10. Freddie and Sam from iCarly. Guys, ultimately, I never seen that coming. I mean, I never really seen it coming. I mean, they hated each other, then they turned into lovers. Which, that does happen. But ultimately, guys, they were also like Beck and Jade. They were very toxic. But at the same time, they did make up. And then they had cute moments. So I ranked a 5 out of 10. So, despite them being like Beck and Jade to me, I gave them a 5 out of 10 because ultimately, they started out not like each other and they were like friends. And then they turned lovers. So, they had a good arc. So. And Buffy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Guys, I gave them a 0 out of 10 because I could never get into them as a couple. I really couldn't. I shipped her and Spike, which I know they were toxic together, but I do believe, at least with Spike, I don't know. She's herself around Spike. She don't have to change who she is, versus if I seen her with Angel, it's like, I didn't really think she could be herself. So, I don't know. I just ship her and Spike. Which I know that he's toxic, just like that would be toxic. But, guys, now I'm going to do my Pretty Liars couples. I was debating on doing this for this video. But then I ultimately say they are a couple off a different TV show. But still. But my first couple is Aria and Ezra. I gave them a 7.5 out of 10. Guys, ultimately I liked them. But I didn't think he should have been the choice for her. But they did have cute moments. I think they should have waited till either he was moved away from Rosewood, not teaching, to put them together, or something. Do something where it wouldn't be as risky with them being together. Plus, they over try to normalize a teacher-student relationship, which here in the real world, like they should have based off the real world from that, that would normally get the grown man locked up. So they shouldn't try to normalize it like they should. Allison from Pretty Liars. Okay, I gave them to a 5 out of 10 ultimately because, I mean, I really did not like Allison much as a character towards the beginning because she was just so vindictive and evil and all that. And then at the end, she kept trying to tell Emily, I'm not into you like that. I like boys. And then when Emily goes and was in a relationship with Paige and all that, then Allison was suddenly interested in her. But ultimately, they were cute together when they were together. But still, I gave them a 5 out of 10. As you know why. Spencer and Toby. They're my second favorite ship on Pretty Liars. I mean, ultimately, I think they were cute. I mean, granted, he was part of the A-team. It hurt Spencer. But she also joined the A-team and just to be with him. So, it was cute. They started out where she didn't like him at all. And he didn't really like that group of girls. But they grew into where they loved each other. And ultimately, I gave them a 9 out of 10 because they are cute and they're endgame. So. Next is actually my favorite ship on Pretty Liars, is Hannah and Caleb. Guys, I gave them a 9 out of 10 too because, I mean, I probably would have given them a 10 out of 10, granted, if the stuff that happened didn't happen. Like, they were not the healthiest couple because they did break up a lot, but most of it was due to A. But still, he dates Spencer and then kisses Hannah. So ultimately, Caleb did have his flaws, just like all of them do. But ultimately, I knew they were in the game from the start. So 9 out of 10. Glenn and Maggie from The Walking Dead. Guys, I'm really not fond of couples on Walking Dead. I think they shouldn't even try to make that happen. But, I mean, they were cute. I mean, he fell in love with her from first sight. And her dad liked him. He approved of him, approved of it all. They had a kid together. The whole shebang. I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I don't like the fact that killed Glenn off the show. I would love to see how Maggie and him would have done if he would have stayed alive. So, 8 out of 10. That's all I have to say. Alright, guys. Phoebe and Cole from Charmed. Now, guys, this couple I did ship for so long, and I couldn't understand why the show writers done them the way they done them. But ultimately, now I see a lot of it was because he's a demon and she was a good witch. That would never worked out. I mean, he done a lot of bad things to other people, to her, and I do see why they did what they did now. Granted, I still think they're a cute couple. I think if he wasn't a demon, they would have had good potential of being together. But ultimately, I did a 3 out of 10. Yeah, no, guys, that's bad for some people who ship it. But 3 out of 10 in my opinion. Next is Piper and Leo from Charmed. Piper and Leo, which is my last couple. Guys, I think they were cute together now I see them. I think they were better fit on the whole Charm thing. Was they're the best couple on there. I gave them an 8 out of 10. Because, yes, he was her white lighter. And they did have a thing where white lighters and witches couldn't be together. But ultimately, guys, they overcome every obstacle they've ever went against. They had a couple of beautiful children. And ultimately, they had a good life together. And they were both good. So, guys, that's it for this video. I mean, this is just my opinion, like I said. My last video, when I said it was the best movies, is my opinion. I'm not trying to say my opinion is the gospel. But this is just ultimately how I feel about this stuff. I would love to hear y'all's opinion on stuff, so leave a comment down below and tell me who's your favorite couple that I've named off. And with that, I'll see you on my next video. Bye.